So whatever that fits better to the environment actually survives better, and that genetic combination is actually passed along to the next generation. Okay, so the frequency of that specific gene actually increases within the population, right? So that's how the evolution is actually progressed. Okay, so this is like a general concept to the natural selection, right? So whatever that's stronger to the environment fits better, okay, survives better. So those ones actually naturally get selected, and the frequency of that gene actually increases as time goes by, right? So that's how they evolve, okay? They evolve to be more strong, more fit to the environment, all right? So if the environment is like very hot, then there is going to be more species that's adapted to that hot weather, all right? So in that habitat, all right, evolution came out to be that species in the habitat is like very resistant to the hot weather. You know what I mean? So that's how the evolution occurs due to the different weather, different environment, and different factors. All right. So now we're going to focus on types of natural selection that can happen. So that's on page 155. All right. So the first one is stabilizing selection. All right, so stabilizing selection, when you look at the graph, right, so x-axis is time. Rather than time, x-axis actually represents like different types of like individuals in the population. So for example, if you were to talk about the weight in humans, then they lay out all the weights, okay, in the x-axis. Y-axis represents the population, all right? So if you compare the previous population with the next population, original population actually looked something like this, okay? So if you were to talk about the weight, let's say like, this is like 6 pounds, this is 9 pounds, okay? Then, like before, it was like widely arranged like this, wide range, okay? So broad graph, but then over the period of time, actually what happened was population became like this, okay? So the ones with the average weight actually becomes more abundant, all right? So the ones that have average traits, okay, average weight, average height survives better. So that's how the next population, evolved population, actually has more abundant trait that is the average. Okay? Yeah, so in case of human, for babies much smaller or larger than this, mortality is greater. So if the baby is too small or too large, then it's going to be a problem. It's extreme, all right? So that's why the average people actually survive better. So that was the first one, stabilizing selection, all right? You should be able to connect the term stabilizing selection with the definition, all right, what it is. Number 2 is the next page, disruptive or diversifying selection, all right? So if you read through that, disruptive selection increases the number of extreme types in a population at the expense of intermediate forms, okay? So a single population of snails can contain animals with either striped or plain shells. So in the short term, this results in what is called balanced polymorphism. Okay, so it actually decreases the average trait, okay, and the extremes survive better. So in the disruptive selection, actually, the graph actually looks like so if this was the original population, then whoever that's on the extreme case actually survive better like this. Okay, so this is also due to the environment. Okay, so let's look at one example for disruptive selection. Okay, so before we look at the disruptive selection, this is a stabilizing selection. Okay, in this case, they talk about different wings. Okay, different traits of the butterfly. Okay, then as the time goes by, what happens is the average butterfly actually lives better. So the graph actually gets narrow like this. Okay, so whoever is on